stretch. You can put it on the board. Yeah.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP.TV. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all natural USDA Prime Angus and Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you see their best-in-class Wagyu New York steaks, filet mignon, and of course the king of all, which is the ribeye. Even the gourmet Angus and Wagyu burgers will blow you away. They're incredible. Find out what's for dinner at UppercutChops.com. That's www.uppercutchops.com. Or call 702-799-9935, 702-799-9935, 702-799-9935, or info at uppercutchops.com and find out what's for dinner. All right, and a big welcome in to everybody watching on social media. In fact, we're streaming this one on Facebook as well as everybody on Hotel Television. Thanks for joining us and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Our flag station over in Southern California, NBC News, CNBC Financial, is KCAA, right here in Las Vegas, around the corner from the Fremont Street Experience, KIOF Magic 97.9 FM. Everybody else that's tuning in on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, and WOW Cable affiliates, thanks for joining us right here on the Sports Circus. Now, listen, the Olympics are going on right now. Everybody knows that. And the Olympics opening ceremony draws a, ready for this? A record low rating. Maybe China has something to do with that. Not really sure. So NBC is facing a cataclysmic loss of audience for the 2022 Winter Olympics as viewership tanked for the opening ceremony. Just averaging just 16 million compared to the 4 million impressions per hour that the Sports Circus actually gets alone on Hotel TV. Yes, the Sports Circus gets 4 million impressions per hour on Hotel Television, thus blowing away the 5-6 hours coverage of the Olympics and their opening ceremony. Unbelievable. Nice round of applause there. Hey, look, it's a record low for an opening ceremony. 20 million to 1988 in Calgary was the previous record, at a whopping 43% below the 2018 games in South Korea that had 28 million viewers, despite also dealing with the less than desirable time transfer from Asia to the U.S. I mean, this is a lot of hours different. I think it's 12, 13 hours. Not really sure. Doesn't matter. The fact is the clock's upside down for the United States of America. Now, it comes on the heels of a rating disaster that saw just 7 million tune in, 7.7, we'll say, dramatically below the same night audience of 2018, which was 16 million, and 2014 from Russia with 20 million. NBC's got some problems here. As a matter of fact, NBC said that 16 million is a, quote, total audience delivery, close quote, right? And it includes all of their networks and streaming. No, it doesn't. No, they're just fluffing those numbers up, in my opinion. And the television-only audience was below 14 million for the day. For the day, how many hours of programming are we talking? 8, 10, 12 hours? Whatever the hell, it doesn't matter. Folks, people are not tuning into this, and there's a lot of reasons. We'll get into that. Now, while the ratings tend to increase over the first week, as people say, as more viewers get caught up on the action, NBC will have to work out of the ratings hole. Yeah. But nonetheless, the host country, China, itself is a serious problem. A lot of Americans believe that. In fact, numerous countries also, including the United States, are staging a diplomatic boycott of these games due to what they say in China's active campaign of genocide against the Uyghur, a minority ethnic group of mostly Muslim in the far northwest part of the country. There it is. You know, politics is going to come into play somewhere. So China denies the charge, but also has banned the United Nations human rights officials from entering the region. Yes, this is what you can expect from Communist China. Yeah. Now, nonetheless, in issues more directly related to the games, China's drastic anti-COVID measures have made life inside the closed loop a high stress and essentially an awful experience for the athletes and a massive challenge for the network. NBC's in trouble on this one, folks. In fact, athletes have complained about the fear of BS and slanted positive tests, substandard conditions in unnecessary isolated centers, and the need to guard against China hacking into their phones and computers to mine data and steal identities. Folks, this is digital war. Digital war, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the opening ceremonies from the famed Bird's Nest in Beijing was scaled back just over 2 hours and rich with politics and propaganda. Yeah, folks, this isn't me. This is all about a message from NBC and from Yahoo and from other media outlets. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. So, look, this is not me talking politics. This is what they're saying here. And so remember, they're saying a message that was rich with politics and propaganda, including a speech from International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach that might as well have been written by the Chinese Communist Party, a rather unpopular group of tyrants as viewed worldwide. Now, while the use of massive LED screens on the floor produced some impressive visuals, it was a far cry from an expansive, welcoming celebration over-the-top show that China gave back in 2008 in the Summer Games. That was really remarkable. Boy, have the mighty fallen when it comes to that. Now, it ended with China using a cross-country skier who the state-run media said Uyghur heritage as one of the cauldron lighters. That was what they wanted to use. So they wanted to demonstrate somebody. Nonetheless, it was a clear counter to the claim of genocide. See, look at the smiling, celebrated Uyghur. That's what they were actually trying to portray. So they're trying to send a political message. How awful is this? And this is what you can expect from China, more and more underhanded, whatever. Just like their products. Folks, when you buy their products, what do? They break. Don't buy their products. Buy made in America, not made in China. Now, look, it was a disturbing and dispirited moment. A young athlete and an icon moment in every Olympics used as propaganda prop to cover up a campaign of slavery, torture, forced abortion, and internment in re-education camps. Oh, yeah. It did nothing to build good feelings towards the competition. In fact, as such, rather than a celebrated, this feels and looks like a grind of hardship, isolation, and suspicion. As a matter of fact, Yahoo had said the lack of fans in attendance doesn't help either, and the ice skating competition was surreal, a performative event where the connection between the competitors and the crowd is paramount. Instead, with just 800 in attendance, yes, 800, you heard that right, 800 in attendance, it looked and sounded like a practice session, complete with music rattling around within the poor acoustics of that haphazard community in the first place. And then, of course, there is a measure of Olympic fatigue. These games are taking place less than 6 months after the delayed Summer Olympics from Tokyo that itself struggled to draw ratings from in the first place, just 15.5 million. And all of this is a nightmare for NBC, which is paying the International Olympic Committee $7.75 billion to broadcast the Olympics through 2032. Boy, NBC really bought it here, didn't they? And in fact, NBC is doing almost all it can, but its reporters and crews are stuck in the closed loop. And that eliminates live shots with mountains or historic buildings and backdrops, as well as stories about culture, architecture, and the people of China that can make the Olympics more than just a sport. Now, even host Mike Tirico broadcasts from a set designed like a mountain chalet that could have been in Breckenridge, not Beijing. In fact, Tirico, the face of the broadcast, will be leaving in coming days to anchor NBC's coverage of the Super Bowl. Now, which is due, of course, to lengthening of the NFL season has spilled into the Olympic calendar and, of course, further siphoned off interest from outside of media coverage. Now, meanwhile, most of NBC's play-by-play broadcasters are calling the games remotely from studios in Connecticut rather than risk China's BS COVID policies. And I applaud them for that, 100%. So while that may be mostly unnoticeable to the viewers, it means that the network can't have the Today Show and its nightly news broadcast live from the city for additional promotion. In fact, there are no segments with Tara Lipinski and Johnny Weir saying shopping in Beijing or Al Roker trying to luge or whatever. It all adds up, folks. Believe me. And right now it subtracts into fewer and fewer viewers who are so far have left so many and other options to tune into a painless, fanless, overlay political event from a country trying to use the Olympics to brush aside the horrors occurring inside its borders. And let's face it, to the International Olympic Committee, this is great. Thus far, the American viewer is less accepting, though. In fact, when we come back from our break, we're going on a break in just a moment here. I want to find out what Americans want to watch. Let's talk about that. Maybe what they don't want to watch, what their feelings may be, and what about worldwide? Back here in a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Lots more to come. And don't go anywhere. You're on social media. Stay right here. And everybody else, you're going to commercial break. Back here in a few minutes.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
AMP, the multi-format network, is here to help create, produce, distribute, and sell your content. For more information, send a message to info@aamp.tv. That's info@aamp.tv.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do. And you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
800-908-7016. 800-908-7016. 800-908-7016. That's 800-908-7016.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP TV. This segment brought to you in part by Curry Leaf, Flavors of India, fine Indian cuisine. Check them out at curryleafvegas.com. Check out that menu. I got to tell you, I've had most of the items on that menu. It is phenomenal. Right here in Las Vegas, it's gourmet Indian food at reasonable rates. In fact, it blows the pricing away on Las Vegas Boulevard. Don't believe me? Check out the prices over there and then go over to the southwest side of town, Tropicana and Fort Apache, 5025 South Fort Apache, suite number 101. And that's where you can find Curry Leaf, fine Indian cuisine. It is good. I got to tell you, it's my favorite dish in there. It's the butter chicken, and it's the chicken 65. Chicken 65 as your appetizer. It will crush every other chicken dish you've probably had in a very long time. In fact, even the lamb chops are incredible. And that's Curry Leaf, 702-527-7977. Go make your reservation at 702-527-7977 or check out the menu and see what's for dinner at curryleafvegas.com. Yes. All right, welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Our flag over in Southern California, NBC News, CNBC Financial. Thanks for joining us on KCAA. Over in Honolulu on CBS Sports 1500, KHKA, home of the San Francisco Giants, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Thanks for joining us also right here in Las Vegas, Magic 97.9 FM, right around the corner for the Fremont Street Experience in downtown Las Vegas. Big hello to our friends over in Natchez, Mississippi, Faraday, Louisiana. That'd be 107.1, The River. That's Jim Bob and the boys over there at Mid-South Broadcasting. Thanks for helping us out with a little bit of production work. Nice round of applause for them. Make sure you tune into their sister station, 104.7, The Gator, for some fine music as well. Also, a big hello to our friends in Auburn, Alabama. That's WAUD, home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. And over in Atlanta, WDJY 99.1 FM. Thanks for listening. Over in Atlanta, you can call it Hotlanta. It's not Hotlanta just yet. And, of course, everybody else on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, and Wow Cable affiliates and Hotel TV. I don't think we left anybody out. Maybe the Mars Rover or the SpaceX. I have no damn clue. Anyway, thanks for joining us here. Talking a little bit about the opening ceremony for the Winter Olympics and the propaganda machine from China, host country China. What a disaster. What an absolute disaster, a train wreck, call it what you will. I mean, look, everything is seemingly gone wrong. And, you know, there are some things about this that don't seem to go over so well with Americans. I mean, listen, do Americans really want to watch anything on television from an adversarial country, one which we are seemingly at war with right now, maybe a digital war? And something tells me probably not. Probably not. A lot of Americans aren't tuning in. I mean, do Americans want to watch scenes from a ski jump with 4 nuclear reactors in the nearby background? I mean, how ridiculous is that? That's a scene right out of The Simpsons. Yeah, I'm going to give a big round of boos for that because it's a bunch of BS. Yeah, I mean, what an awful scene. Here they're on the Super G, the ramp, the jump ramp, whatever. And there's 4 nuclear reactors. Literally, you can almost reach out and touch them. How embarrassing. I mean, look, it's a huge country. Don't you think they'd be able to find something a little bit better? I don't know, just say it. Nonetheless, do Americans want to see, I don't know, events with nobody in the stands cheering for their home countries? And look, whether it's ice skating, a huge, huge Winter Olympics event. Ice skating is a big deal. Well, guess what? There's nobody there. It's like a big practice, just like we had said earlier. Nonetheless, the fact is, hockey's a big deal. Skating's a big deal. Skiing is a big deal. And we're not seeing the crowds. And then when we are seeing a few people here or there, they're out in the open air and they're by themselves. And what are they doing? Oh, yeah. They're wearing the proverbial face diaper. Look, those masks are as effective as somebody passing gas. And of course, that awful smell of methane gas transferring from their body out into the open air, which people can certainly smell. And we know when they can smell it because they give that real sour, awful look. The point is, That's how effective those masks are. In the same way. Now, mind you, you're talking about layers of clothing. Could be through jeans, through underwear, through this, through that, through a coat, and you could still smell it. Well, guess what? The same problem is with these masks, because not only do they not stop what they claim they can stop, but guess what? They also force you to breathe in, just like John Stockton said here on the Sports Circus recently, to breathe in your own exhaust, right? So essentially, you're poisoning yourself on top of it. And so do Americans really want to see that? Probably not. Do Americans want to watch communist China television spun programming? Probably not. And that's that Uyghur situation, lighting the cauldron, whatever, for the Olympic torch and all that. Do they want to watch the messages, all their spun BS? No, they don't, generally speaking. I'm going to speak for a lot of people. And let's face it, a lot of people are just pissed off at China in the first place over this whole COVID crap. Anyway, what do Americans want? Americans want freedom. First and foremost, Americans want freedom, but they also want to see life, excitement. Our society is built on fun, excitement, hard work, labor. We want to do stuff, but we do things with conviction, just like the truckers over in Canada. How about a big round of applause for them? Yes! How about for the truckers really standing up and getting her done? Good for them. So I guess what I'm trying to say here in all of this is I don't think Americans necessarily want to watch something that's not going to feel good, smell good, taste good. And frankly, there are reruns on TV that are better. But here's what's worse for the NBC people, right? So here you typically have the NHLers in the Olympics playing hockey. Oh, no. Regular NHL season's going on. Well, they don't give a damn. The NHL season's going on in North America. And of course, the Olympics are missing all those great players from the U.S. and from Canada, which comprise most of the National Hockey League. Of course, Russia, or the Russian athletes, we're going to get to them in a minute. What are they doing? Yeah, they've got their pro players out there playing from the Continental Hockey League, and that's essentially their version of the NHL. So there's a lot of great players over there, a lot of Russian players, a lot of European players that play in the Continental Hockey League that, well, they get to play in the Olympics, right? And even David Krejci from the Boston Bruins, he took a year off. He's playing for his home country, the Czech Republic. And so a lot of these other countries outside of the U.S. and Canada, generally speaking, right? And Sweden has a lot of those NHL players. Guess what? They're not playing in the Olympics. So Russia generally has a full squad. This is kind of like the Miracle on Ice thing all over again. And then, of course, you have Team China hockey. Just happens to have Chris Chelios' son on that team. Oh, yeah. Chris Chelios' son, an American on a Chinese hockey team? Are you kidding me? Seriously? How embarrassing for that family. I hope the American players and the Canadian players drive him 5 rows through the glass, because to me, in my opinion, that is a traitor move. And I don't like that one bit. Here's something else I don't like. A lot of people don't like this one. How about this? The Russian figure skating prodigy test positive for banned drugs at the Olympics. Here we go again. Should we be surprised? Yes, Russia, doping and cheating. Yes, again. This time it's a 15-year-old, Kamila Valieva, a Russian figure skater prodigy, reportedly failed a drug test before the team competition at the Olympics in Beijing. Oh, yeah. Oh, it gets worse, folks. As a result, the medal ceremony for the event has been delayed, and the International Olympic Committee announced in a press conference this. In fact, the sports website Inside the Games first identified Valieva as the offender, and Reuters later confirmed it. If you don't know Reuters, you've probably seen either the Associated Press stories or Reuters stories from Europe. Guess what? This is a Reuters issue. In fact, the International Skating Union has said the stalling was due to a legal issue. Look, this is illegal. It's illegal, folks. Valieva became the first female skater to land a quad jump in the Olympics during her first free skate program and was instrumental in Russia's win in the team event. Now, the Russian team beat United States and Japan, and she also led the women's singles standings in both the short program and free skate. Now, it looks like that's not going to end very well for Russia. Now, is it? Oh, no. Russian athletes, of course, at the Beijing Games are representing the Russian Olympic Committee rather than the nation without their flag and national anthem because of penalties and previous infractions. Yes, drug infractions, because that's what they do. How ridiculous. Heart attack medicine at her age, 15 years of age. Absolutely. Loyal listener Lisa says in, I mean, look, this is ridiculous. Look, wash, rinse, repeat. And we're going to carry this subject over into the next segment. This is embarrassing. 100% embarrassing. I can't believe they're actually allowing the Russians to even compete in the Olympics again. Now, again, without a flag as the Russian Olympic Committee. What the hell is that? Is that the Vladimir Putin flag? I don't know. Is that the payoff flag? What the hell's going on? Is it a diversion for taking over the Ukraine? Is this what's going on? If that happens, is China going to take over Taiwan as well and control all the semiconductors? Folks, there's a lot bigger stories going on here. Come back here in just a few minutes, and we're going to pick up on this Russian cheating nonsense. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio. AAMP TV stands for All Ages Media Programming. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on AAMP.TV. AAMP.TV. All right, this segment brought to you in part by Kelly Vegas, helping people create and host their very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Kelly Vegas can help with everything they need to get out, sitting in hours of traffic, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job, and host their very own talk show in their very own home studio. For more information, contact Kelly Vegas at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit online for more information at www.kellyvegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. Everybody watching this broadcast on AMP TV and, of course, on our streaming platforms, you can see that I actually have a couple of different cameras here. So I'm looking head on at our regular TV camera, which goes to Hotel Television and our Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, and WOW cable affiliates from coast to coast. And the radio, of course, goes from Cox, or I just said Cox, from ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast as well. Right here in Las Vegas, all the way to Atlanta, to Honolulu, and a whole bunch of points in between. We have stations picking us up in Boston, in New York, Buffalo, Chicago. We're everywhere, folks. You can't get away from us. It doesn't matter. But ultimately, I have two cameras here. I have one over here that's going right to Facebook, for example. That's over a little bit off to my right. So everybody on TV, on Hotel, you can see me kind of veering to the left. And everybody else watching on Facebook, for example, you see me pointing straight ahead. It looks like I'm looking the other way. Well, I actually have to look at both cameras. I don't have anybody manning camera one and camera two, so get over it. Nonetheless, we're everywhere, folks. You can't get away from us, even on the Mars rover. I imagine that's where we're at. So in the last segment, it was about Russian cheating. It was about an ice skater cheating. Oh, yeah, an ice skater cheating. 15-year-old, by the way. Oh, yeah. And so, of course, Russian athletes at the Beijing Games are represented, again, just a recap, they're representing the Russian Olympic Committee rather than the nation without their flag and national anthem because of penalties for previous drug infractions, yet they're allowed to compete again while doping. Remember, wash, rinse, and repeat. This seems to happen on a regular basis over there in Russia. Nonetheless, now some had speculated that the drug that the ice skater, Valieva, allegedly ingested was trimetazidine, a medicine that treats chest pains, we'll get to that, and assists with cardiovascular system. Why the hell would a 15-year-old be taking that? We'll get back to that. Now, the World Anti-Doping Agency's WADA lists trimetazidine as a metabolic modulator illegal for competition. And Valieva is technically you ready for this one, folks? A, quote, protected person, close quote, under the World Anti-Doping Code, which stipulates that, quote, an athlete who at the time of anti-doping rule violation has not reached the age of 16, close quote, according to the Inside the Game. Given that she is 15, her identity and her identify must be concealed. Oh, yeah, it's identity and identify. So they have to identify her as we don't know. So nonetheless, technically she's concealed. Now, if it's determined that she committed a drug violation only, though, how the hell does that work? We'll get back to that. So the Russians thought they found a hole in the system, but they didn't. And cheaters on the world stage once again. That's what they do. So the International Testing Agency, ITA, which is responsible for drug testing athletes at the tournament, said in a statement, quote, the ITA is aware of various reports circulating regarding the postponed medal ceremony for the figure skating team event at the Olympic Winter Games in Beijing 2020. And the agency dismissed rumors and instructed people to wait for an official statement before reaching any conclusions. Any announcement connected to these events would always be publicly issued on the ITA's website and not commented on otherwise. No such announcement has been published to date. Close quote. What does all that mean? It means that it seems to me, in my opinion, It seems as though the ITA and the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, it seems like they're trying to find a way to conceal all the data and issue a gold medal to Team Russia when doping certainly was the case. Yet, of course, that's why they can't even compete as Russia. They have to be the Russian Olympic athletes or the Olympic Committee or some crap like that. The fact is, it seems as though nobody wants to chime in on that. It's maybe a little Russia and China collusion here. Is that what we're talking about here? It certainly can be, folks. It certainly can be. But let's get back to the idea of a 15-year-old taking a heart attack medicine in the first place. What the hell is she doing taking this? Geez, I don't even know if I can say it again. It is, where is it? Here it is. Trimetazidine. Why is a 15-year-old taking that? Could it be from, that's just my opinion, my thought. Could it be from taking a shot? Oh, yeah. What about taking that non-FDA approved experimental drug injection? Is that what it's from? And remember, we had Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on the show talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of athletes dropping dead on the field, on the ice, on the court, wherever the hell it was, dropping dead left, right, and center from taking a shot. That's what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had said on the Sports Circus. And that was the November 22 edition, 2021. In case you missed it, folks, a great show. Emmy Award-winning content guaranteed, just like the show with John Stockton recently as well. Same idea. John had alluded to people being, well, getting sick and dying because of the same thing. Is that the possibility of why this 15-year-old is taking this trimetazidine, a metabolic modulator? Now, that's something interesting. How many people have actually looked at that? How many people are too scared to talk about that? Yes, there's a pause. Are you too scared to think about it? No. Are you too scared to talk about it? No. But I'll tell you who is. It seems to me, in my opinion, again, that good old NBC that's covering the Olympic Games doesn't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Hell no.
Stop it.
They want no part of that one. Just stay away from it. So ultimately, we have a problem here. In fact, the International Olympic Committee and the International Skating Union also declined to comment on the situation. Why is that? What are we seeing? What the hell's going on here? Are we seeing the fix? Are we seeing a political cover-up? Who the hell knows? Well, I'll tell you what. Maybe on a future show, we're going to get back to that because I know we're going to have more data. And here's something really interesting. We're going to switch over to college basketball. How about ladies college basketball for probably the biggest story of the day coming at the bottom of the hour in this show is the University of Connecticut women's team. And, you know, these ladies, man, they could ball. They are good. And they've been good for a decade. And it's no mistake. Now, the University of Connecticut Lady Huskies, for the first time in 145 games in the conference, finally lost. This dates back to 2013. In fact, for the first time in nearly a decade, this is CBS Sports. UConn dropped a conference basketball game. Villanova knocked off number 8 UConn 72-69 in Hartford, Connecticut, officially snapping the Huskies' 145-game conference regular season streak that dates back to 2013. And UConn coach said via the four-letter network, quote, "Games have to be won. They're not preordained. You've got to lose at some point. Otherwise, you're not in a good conference. Losing to a good team like Villanova, they deserve to win. I thought today they were way more physical than us. They just worked harder at it. This is just a good day for them, not for us. Losing is part of basketball, and you have to figure out how it happened and then move on and get ready for the next one." Close quote. That's a good statement by the head coach there. Nonetheless, UConn hadn't lost a regular season playoff game or conference game, since falling to Notre Dame back in 2013. It then lost to the Fighting Irish in the Big East title game that season, but beat the Irish in the national championship. Now, UConn then won its next 145 regular season games on 169 games, including conference tournament games. until recently, of course, spanning their time in the American Athletic Conference. That's dating way back. And the Big East. UConn never lost to a conference opponent in its 7 seasons in the American Athletic Conference. Wrap your head around that, folks. 7 seasons, never losing a game to any of its conference opponents. And the Huskies were without their dominating center, who missed the game due to illness. And, of course, sidelined by head injury, Carolina Ducharme, as well as star Paige Buchers, hasn't played since early December with a knee injury. So they were really shorthanded. And, of course, with that short lineup, UConn struggled, and the Huskies never led in the game and opened on the wrong side of a 22-7 run, though they nearly made a last-second push, cutting that 15-point deficit down to 3 in the final 3 minutes. But, of course, too little, too late. And, of course, Azzi Food led UConn with 29 points while shooting 11 for 20 from the field, and Kristen Williams dropped 24. And they were only 2 Huskies, the only 2 Huskies in double figures, and 2 of 6 players who actually saw the court. And so, listen, Villanova played their butts off, and a nice round of applause for Villanova, snapping that streak. And UConn, a round of applause for you for going 145-0. A really, really big accomplishment. Back here in a few minutes on the Circus.
You don't sit behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit behind on your paperwork, like bookkeeping and paying your taxes. It's easy to get behind on paying your taxes. It happens to the best of us. And you know what happens next. The big, bad IRS comes knocking on your door. And when that happens, you need to call the good old boys at the Tax Doctor. Let them do what they do best. Deal and negotiate with the IRS so you pay the lowest you can in back taxes that the law allows. We are a 100% U.S.-based company, and we've saved our clients millions over the years in back taxes. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call my friends right now at the Tax Doctor and learn more.
800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. That's 800-989-1694.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pouty Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system. And it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit bestsupertea.com. The first word is best, spelled B-E-S-T, then the word super, then the word tea. The complete website is bestsupertea.com, or call us at 818-274-8270, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-274-8270, bestsupertea.com.
Welcome back to the Sports. Welcome back to the Sports Circus. See if I can spit that one out. Live from the AMP TV studio. That's AAMP TV. Oh boy, this segment brought to you in part by the Sports Circus. Of course, who else, right? Folks, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com for upcoming guests, our prior guests, our recorded shows, which are our podcast, of course. And also check out the partners. We have some great partners. One of those is the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. That's csncoyotes.com. And as a matter of fact, great baseball, great softball, volleyball, soccer. They've got it all. Make sure you go to csncoyotes.com for upcoming events and games for the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. Folks, I got to tell you, the College of Southern Nevada here in the Vegas Valley, in my opinion, clearly, and I mean head and shoulders above, well, its local competitor, if you know what I mean. It is head and shoulders above the local university, which has 4 letters as well. In my opinion, I think it's better. Yes, it's a feeder school to it, but I think the performance of the student athletes and the students in general is significantly better at the College of Southern Nevada. But the College of Southern Nevada Athletics is what we're talking about here today. csncoyotes.com for upcoming events and games. That's csncoyotes.com for the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. All right, a big welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Magic 97.9 FM right here in Las Vegas. And, of course, everybody watching on Hotel TV from coast to coast, as well as Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, and Wow Cable affiliates everywhere. Folks, you can't get away from us. All right, it's college basketball. Now we're going to go to the guys. We had a great story from Villanova toppling undefeated UConn for 145 games in the conference. Mind you, they didn't lose one game in the whole American Athletic Conference in 7 years in the AAC. That's unbelievable. Can you even imagine that? Nonetheless, here's a bad story out of the Pac-12. Yeah, it's the Pac-12, and it's those boys from Westwood. Now, UCLA forward Mac Etienne was cited for assault. You ready for this one, folks? Cited for assault after allegedly spitting on Arizona fans. Are you kidding me? What kind of moron does that? Oh, Mac Etienne, apparently. Right now, UCF freshman, their forward, Mac Etienne, was arrested and cited with assault after allegedly spitting on Arizona fans at the conclusion of that Pac-12 basketball game. It wasn't allegedly spitting. It's what he did. We saw the video. I saw the video, watched it a few times. That's why he was arrested. In fact, the incident occurred in the aftermath of Arizona's 76-66 home win over the Bruins at the McHale Center. Nice round of applause there. Happy day whenever UCLA loses. Yes. As a matter of fact, Etienne, who didn't play due to injury, exchanged words with someone in the Arizona student section as he walked away to the tunnel with his teammates. Then he spat into the stands. What an idiot. Oh, yeah. There's class for you, done Westwood style. A security staffer then grabbed him and directed him into the tunnel. Video from the stands documented the incident. And I watched this as well. You know, that kid was grabbed immediately. There's no fooling around here. No. You ain't going to pull that crap in our stadium over in Arizona down in Tucson. That's what they said. So the fact is, Sergeant Sean Shields of the University of Arizona Police told the 4-letter network that officers arrested Etienne and then cited him for assault with the, quote, intent to injure, provoke, or insult, close quote. Okay. All right. Let's just stop this for a second. Attempt to injure. I mean, how is somebody going to get injured from being spat upon? Maybe there's a virus traveling or something. Maybe there's something in the saliva from person A to person B. I don't know. I don't even know what that looks like. What about the hockey player, Marchand? What about Marchand when he was licking other players, and he didn't even get a penalty called against him. What about that one, Eddie? We'll get back to that. But the intent to injure, provoke, or insult. So the intent to provoke, yeah, I kind of get that. Intent to insult? There is such a thing? I didn't even know that. So maybe it's a University of Arizona police code or something. I don't know. I didn't even know that was against the law to intend to provoke somebody. So in other words, they're intending they're saying you're going to be arrested for thinking to do this. I don't know, or whatever, to think about an insult because your intent was to potentially insult. It's crazy. Anyway, he was allowed to rejoin his teammates in the visiting locker room and leave the arena with his team. It wasn't immediately clear what sort of legal consequences ETN might face. Not really sure what that means. I mean, maybe he should be putting a line in and have all the fans spit in his face or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe that would be some kind of justice served. I don't know. But UCLA addressed the incident in a statement from spokesman Scott Markley. And Markley's statement read, quote, UCLA Athletics is committed to and expects the highest level of sportsmanship, and we are aware of the incident involving a student athlete at tonight's men's basketball game, and the matter is under review, close quote. Now, ETN, of course, a 4-star recruit, blah, 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 midway through his season. He got injured, only averaging 2.6 points a game, 2.8 rebounds. He had surgery for a torn ACL a few months ago. He's going to miss the entire season. What the hell is this kid doing in the first place, talking smack to anybody? I mean, seriously, this is just stupid. So why is he even on the bench? I don't even know. If he's not going to play the rest of the season, he should probably just stay up in the press box or something and just stay away from the team, because obviously this guy is, I don't know, he's a bad apple. I mean, look what he's doing. He's a big distraction. Speaking of a big distraction, how about number 1, Auburn, losing at Arkansas? Pig sweet! And it was Arkansas snapping that 19-game win streak that Auburn was enjoying with that number 1 ranking. Not so fast. I think Auburn's going to be tumbling a little bit here. Now, number 2, Gonzaga is staying put. And number 2, Gonzaga is 19-2. They've lost to Duke as one of those games. And early in the season, I forget who their other loss was. But you've got to ask yourself, will they move to the number 1 spot? Not so fast. Not so fast, because it's likely that the Purdue Boilermakers are going to be the number 1 team in the nation after completely dismantling and destroying a very strong Illinois team. I think they beat them by 18. I mean, it was a runaway. They were absolutely dominating. In the first half of the game, it was a back-and-forth battle, a game of spurts. You'd have 10 points going one way, 8 points going the other way. And in fact, Illinois led at the half by 2, 38-36. But Purdue came rumbling back in the second half and completely destroyed, dismantled, and embarrassed Illinois with all those Illinois fans and audience at Mackey Arena. It was kind of clever, I admit, that the Illinois fans had come in wearing Purdue shirts so they wouldn't be harassed on their way inside the stadium. And then right when Illinois scored their first bucket, they took off those Purdue shirts, and there was a sea of orange inside Mackey Arena. Got to tell you, that's something that I've never seen before. Leave it to my home state to come up with something like that. Nonetheless, Arizona at number 4. Purdue is probably going to be the number 1 team in the nation. Auburn will probably drop down to maybe 6 or 7, I'm guessing, because they only have 1 loss. This will be their second loss. And Arizona, of course, is going to climb. They're 19-2. They're probably going to go to that number 3 spot. Gonzaga will probably stay number 2. Purdue will jump them. And Kentucky, playing very good basketball. Kentucky is probably going to move up a slot as well. And the University of Houston, now there's an interesting squad. Houston is a very good club. They're really flying under the radar. Who knows what's going to happen? And Duke, of course, with their loss to University of Virginia, at Cameron Indoor Stadium, they're going to tumble probably down to about 10. Meanwhile, Kansas, you don't even know what you're getting, folks. Kansas is 19-3. Somehow, they moved up a couple of slots from 10 to 8. I don't think Kansas is going to really go much. They're not going to really go far. Texas Tech at 9, Baylor at number 10. Baylor is an interesting group because remember, that's the national champion, the defending national champion from last year, and that great win over Gonzaga. who knows what's going to happen with Baylor. But looking at the balance of the rankings here, Providence, the Friars at number 11, and UCLA is certainly going to tumble from that number 12 spot. And that was a bad loss. That was a really bad loss at Arizona. Illinois, of course, with that loss to Purdue, it was a good loss for them, but it wasn't a good loss. I mean, they got smoked, but it was a road game, and they lost to probably the number one team in the nation. So they'll probably drop a couple of spots, but that's about it. Wisconsin, very strong showing at 18-4. Those guys are playing really good ball. How about Villanova? Even though they've got 6 losses, their losses are quality losses, right? So there's good losses, there's bad losses. And you've got to take those into account, especially when it comes to tournament seeding, which is not far away. Ohio State solid at number 16 at 14-5. Michigan State loses to Wisconsin. That 17 ranking is going to drop. Who knows where they're going to end up? Marquette at number 18. Tennessee playing solid ball at 16-6 at number 19. Texas over in Austin. That would be Austin, California, because, it's funny in Texas, and I saw this recently, I saw a bunch of people wearing shirts that said, "Don't California my Texas." Over in Austin, Texas, it's kind of like all the blue team has moved over to Austin. They're trying to take over the state, folks. That ain't going to happen. Austin, you may be blue, but the balance of the state is red. It's not going anywhere. USC with a couple of nice wins, and they are ranked 21. They're going to probably jump up from that 19-4 ranking or 19-4 record. They're going to probably jump up to about 18. And of course, here's St. Mary's. St. Mary's was unrated. They move into the rankings, and then they turn right around. They were ranked number 22nd, and then they lost to Santa Clara. Santa Clara is a good squad, so they're going to be right out of those rankings as well. How about the Racers from Murray State? That's John Morant's school. Murray State at 22-2, non-rated, and they jump to number 23. UConn on the men's side, ranked number 24, and Xavier rounding out the top 25. Xavier just took a pretty bad loss themselves. Now, the other receiving votes, Wyoming getting 82, Arkansas. Of course, with Pig Sooie, they're going to jump up in the rankings with that nice win over number 1 Auburn. Iowa State 48, Davidson getting 35 votes, Boise State, Wake Forest, Alabama, Loyola Chicago getting votes as well. They're getting 13 votes, and they're ahead. Loyola Chicago still ahead of LSU, Indiana, Iowa, Oregon, San Francisco, the Dons of San Francisco, Notre Dame, and the Bobcats of Ohio. So you see, folks, this college basketball world is very interesting because these rankings through the regular season only give the tournament seed crew, that Selection Sunday type people, it gives them an idea of how good they are through the season. But really, at the end of the day, this is all about the body of work, and the rankings are what they are. Likely, you'll see in that top 4, you'll see Purdue end up probably in the East or in the Midwest. You'll see Gonzaga representing the West, probably see Kentucky and Arizona in the West and the South or something like that. Nonetheless, folks, that's going to do it for the circus today. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, and we'll see you next time right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.